Few myths have captured the imagination quite like Atlantis. It appears in novels, documentaries, conspiracy theories, and video games. A lost island civilization swallowed by the sea, advanced beyond its time, mysterious and tragic. But unlike many ancient myths, Atlantis comes from a very specific place and from just one storyteller, the Greek philosopher Plato. The legend is more than just a disaster story. It raises questions about power, morality, memory, and how easily we mistake myth for history. To understand Atlantis, we have to travel back more than 2,000 years to a philosophical conversation taking place in an Athenian courtyard. The first appearance, Plato's dialogues. Atlantis first appears in two of Plato's works, Timaeus and Critias. These dialogues explore the origins of the universe, the structure of government, and what an ideal society should look like. During one discussion, an elderly statesman named Critias shares a tale supposedly passed down in his family. He tells of an Egyptian priest who once spoke to Solon, the Athenian lawgiver, about a powerful island civilization that had existed 9,000 years earlier. The island lay beyond the Pillars of Heracles, the strait we now call Gibraltar. Larger than Libya and Asia Minor combined, it supported a society of immense wealth and sophistication. The Atlanteans built concentric rings of land and water around their central hill, creating a city that looked perfectly ordered from above. They dug canals, constructed harbors, raised temples, and erected palaces covered in precious metals. They were skilled sailors, capable farmers, and formidable warriors. Eventually, their ambition carried them far beyond their island, and they began conquering territories throughout the Mediterranean, testing the strength of neighboring nations. Yet, prosperity bred arrogance. According to Plato, the Atlanteans, once guided by justice, gradually grew greedy and power-hungry. Their moral center eroded. Angered by this rising corruption, the gods decided on punishment. In a single catastrophic day and night, earthquakes tore the island apart, and towering floods swept it under the sea. Atlantis vanished, leaving nothing but submerged ruins and fading memory. That brief narrative, elegant, haunting, and moralistic, is the entire original Atlantis story. Everything else came later. Myth or moral lesson. From the moment it was written, people wondered whether Plato meant Atlantis to be taken literally. He insisted it was true, saying it came from ancient records preserved in Egypt. Yet he also frequently used fictional examples to illustrate philosophical themes. Atlantis, many scholars argue, represents the dangers of human pride and the fragility of great civilizations. Plato wanted to contrast a society ruled by reason with one corrupted by desire. In this view, Atlantis is not a real lost continent, but a warning disguised as history, a reminder that greatness collapses when ethics disappear. Still, the level of detail he included has tempted readers for centuries to ask, what if there truly was such a place? A legend that refused to stay quiet. After Plato, the story of Atlantis barely appears in ancient literature. A few writers mention it in passing, but mostly as a curiosity. Centuries later, during the Renaissance, scholars rediscovered classical texts and read them with new enthusiasm. Atlantis suddenly felt like an unsolved riddle. Explorers returning from distant voyages speculated that perhaps the lands they encountered, especially in the Atlantic and the Americas, were somehow related to Plato's island. Philosophers and writers used Atlantis as a canvas on which to imagine ideal societies, or to criticize real ones. By the 19th century, as archaeology and pseudoscience sometimes intertwined, Atlantis became entangled with theories about lost continents, mysterious technologies, and even visitors from the stars. With each retelling, the island became grander, more magical, and further removed from Plato's restrained and philosophical version. Gradually, it evolved into a symbol of everything humanity imagines about lost golden ages: brilliant technology, spiritual wisdom, and tragic downfall. Real disasters. Behind the myth, although archaeologists have found no evidence of a powerful Atlantean empire, parts of the story may echo genuine historical events. Many historians point to the eruption of Thera, modern Santorini, one of the largest volcanic explosions in human history. The disaster ravaged nearby Minoan settlements with ash and tsunamis. To survivors' descendants, the memory of entire cities swallowed by the sea could easily have grown into legend. Others suggest the collapse of Bronze Age civilizations, including powerful cities like Mycenae, created cultural trauma that storytellers later reshaped, and nearly every culture preserves tales of floods at sunken lands, suggesting that catastrophic natural events repeatedly impress themselves on human memory. Because Plato claimed the story came through Egyptian priests, some imagine he may have blended Greek memories with older Egyptian traditions. The truth likely lies somewhere between history and imagination, fragments of disasters woven into a moral fable. Chasing the geography of a dream. Over time, people have found Atlantis almost everywhere on the map. Some locate it deep in the Atlantic. Others claim it lies in the Caribbean, on the coast of Spain, beneath Antarctic ice, or hidden under Saharan sands. Each theory rearranges geography to fit a poetic vision of a vanished paradise. Part of the fascination comes from the longing to uncover forgotten pages of human history. Atlantis becomes a symbol for secrets just beyond reach, mysteries that might rewrite everything we think we know. But this longing also invites wishful thinking, blurring the line between careful archaeology and imaginative storytelling. Even when evidence fails to appear, the possibility feels irresistible. Perhaps, somewhere beneath the waves, lies proof that an extraordinary civilization once existed. Atlantis in modern imagination. In modern times, Atlantis has filled countless roles. Novelists reimagine it as a glittering underwater metropolis. Filmmakers depict survivors living in domed cities or hidden oceans. Comic book creators populate it with warrior kings and ancient technology. Documentary producers frame it as a mystery on the verge of being solved, a story that invites viewers into speculation as thrilling as any adventure. Each generation reinvents Atlantis according to its hopes and anxieties. In some versions, it is a peaceful utopia destroyed by fate. In others, it is an imperial power undone by its own cruelty. Sometimes it symbolizes wisdom lost too soon. Sometimes it represents the arrogance of thinking we can conquer nature. Because the legend is unfinished, storytellers can enter it at any point and reshape it. Why the myth won't disappear. Atlantis survives not because we can prove it existed, but because it allows us to imagine a world simultaneously magnificent and fragile. We picture a civilization ahead of its time, building wonders that modern people struggle to explain. We imagine secrets buried in the ocean, knowledge that could change everything if found. We feel the melancholy of a paradise destroyed, and the thrill of thinking it might still be out there somewhere, waiting. The myth blends hope with caution. It whispers that greatness can vanish in a single night, yet it also promises buried mysteries, inviting endless curiosity. What is most likely true? Most historians conclude that Atlantis was Plato's invention, shaped to deliver philosophical insight rather than historical record. Still, like many powerful myths, it likely draws on memories of genuine disasters and fallen cities. Plato crafted those elements into a narrative meant to explore responsibility, leadership, and the dangers of unchecked ambition. Myths endure precisely because they illuminate truths that facts alone cannot express. Atlantis gives voice to our fascination with fallen empires and our worry that one day people might speak of our own civilization the same way. It quietly asks, what happens when technological progress outruns wisdom? How stable are our cities, our systems, our assumptions of permanence? And if we vanish tomorrow, what legends might arise from the ruins we leave behind?